So Zion is just in his second season, but he's already a star in the NBA, and he's been playing great all season. And I saw this crazy stat. Zion could miss his next 216 shots and still shoot better than 50%. And that's via StatMuse on Twitter. And that is just absolutely insane for any player, let alone a second-year player who's, 6'6"? But Zion is just such a beast, man. Almost all of his shots come at the rim, whether it be dunks or tough layups where he floats in the air and gets to the free throw line. He is already one of the most unstoppable players in the NBA, yet the Pelicans are still 4 games out of the play-in and well below 500. So quite a few questions about the Pelicans and Zion's future, even though Zion is just absolutely incredible at such a young age. So on the season, Zion is averaging 27 points, 7.3 rebounds, and 3.6 assists, though I must add that the assists have been up since he was switched to more of a player who has more ball handling duties, who brings the ball up the floor, who runs pick and rolls. And when he does that, it usually ends up in something good, whether it be a small guy setting a screen for Zion and the defense just panicking, or a big guy, anything that lets him get to the rim or create for another person. The defense is going to be focused on Zion in those pick and roll situations, and you can easily dish to another player for an assist, or sometimes it's the hockey assist, the assist before the assist, that type of thing. That type of thing. Some of the Pelicans' best offense when Zion is handling the ball, and it usually creates a good shot. On 62% field goal percentage, so as I said, just taking a lot of high efficiency shots, but being able to create high efficiency shots. His ability to just get to the rim and create a layup out of nothing. He's just bullying centers out of the paint and getting easier shots, and it's absolutely incredible. And as I said, gets to the line, 8.6 free throw attempts, which is a huge figure, and that could be even higher. Just the amount, how relentless he is attacking, how he refuses to settle for anything but a shot in the paint. And then at the line, he shoots 70%, which bodes well for the rest of his career. He's not Shaq. He can hit his free throws. He can get at least one of two, and sometimes hit them both. If that could improve even more, it'd be great. But 70%, that's what Tim Duncan was at for his career. I think that's probably just it's a good possession when he gets to the line. As I said, a lot of his shots come at the rim, so it means he hasn't really shot any long twos or threes. He's 30% from 3 on half an attempt a game, so just very little volume from back there. Obviously, last season in his debut, he hit 4 and hasn't really attempted many since. So we'll see whether that is a bigger part of his game in the future, whether it be off the dribble or spotting up when someone else is doing a lot of the playmaking. We'll see if he shoots more threes in the future, or whether he just continues to dominate inside. There's nothing wrong. He's not hurting his team by not shooting threes. In fact, he's probably better utilized going to the rim. So, and then all the advanced stats also love Zion. His PER is 28, which I believe is 3rd in the league, behind only Jokic and Embiid. And all the other advanced stats, VORP, on-off, box plus minus, all those types of stats all look very good for Zion. And, you can see why with how efficient he is, and with how the volume he's able to put up while maintaining that efficiency. Takes quite a few shots a game, but at that efficiency, you wonder whether he could score even more. I mean, he's getting 27 points a game, and I think the Pelicans probably need to focus on defense before, their offense is already pretty good, but defensively they struggle. So we'll see whether the team impacts Zion in the future in terms of what they need. Defensively, Zion He's certainly not what we expected when he was making incredible plays out of Duke. Once in a while, he still gets a block, gets a steal, that sort of thing. And his defensive rotations have mostly been solid, but sometimes he can make a mistake. It's not the end of the world. He's not a great defender, but he's not a terrible defender. He's certainly improved on that end of the floor since his rookie season. But the Pelicans still aren't great on that end of the floor. So, so Pelicans are 4 games out of the play-in, and they have a lot of questions. I don't think they're going to make the play-in this season. I think it's just too far despite this great Zion performance. But they have a lot of questions, and the first thing is Lonzo's free agency. He's a free agent this offseason. I like the fit of Lonzo and Zion since Lonzo has become a player who's able to knock down the three at an elite level, and also a player who can sometimes be on the ball. Like if Zion and Lonzo are my 2 ball handlers, I think that's pretty good. They need to get Bledsoe out of there. I think he still has a couple years left on his deal, but he's just not helping the Pelicans at all. He's not spacing the floor. His defense has fallen off a ton, and it's just not a great situation. You wonder whether they could have shipped him out and kept a player like George Hill, someone who can space the floor and play make a little bit. But if it's Lonzo and Zion as the 2 ball handlers, I like that. I like that Lonzo can sometimes handle it. I like that he can throw lobs to Zion, and I like that he's a good big defender. And then I also like that he can play off ball. If Zion is running a pick and roll, Lonzo can be spotted up on the wing or in the corner, and I think that's really beneficial. So I would keep him. Obviously, if he gets a massive deal, they have to start thinking about it. Like if it's like 15, something like that, I think the Pelicans should keep him. But if it's over 20, then I think they have to start thinking about it. Is he really worth it, or should they just let him walk and maybe go after someone else in free agency? Maybe a center, because the Steven Adams thing just hasn't really worked. He clogs up the lane offensively. He hasn't really helped them out too much defensively. And if you think of the ideal center to put next to Zion, it's someone who can space the floor offensively and protect the rim defensively. So someone maybe like Miles Turner. Whether they'd be able to trade for Miles Turner, I'm not too sure. But someone in that prototype, a 3-and-D center, who can pair nicely next to Zion, but also next to Ingram and Lonzo if they keep them. So whether that's trading for Miles Turner, signing someone in this year's free agency, I'm not quite sure who, or maybe, they do have a lot of picks, so whether that player comes in the draft and they take more of a long-term approach, or whether they throw a ton of picks to get a player like that, will be interesting. But I think they need to make a change at center. I think it's been holding them back this season. And then the other option is maybe Zion at center. He certainly is strong enough, but whether, I don't think it would be great defensively. Then again, they already aren't great defensively. Offensively, if he's playing center and he can also handle the ball and finish at the rim like he can, it's going to be a matchup nightmare for the defenses. But whether they could even survive defensively to just be competent on that end, I'm not sure. I don't really think it's a long-term solution. I think it's a better idea to get a center that fits next to Zion than to just move Zion to center. So we'll have to see what they do. I think they need to address that. But Zion is great, just in terms of his efficiency and just everything he can do in only a second season. So we'll see what happens in the future for the Pelicans. I think they need to make some changes this offseason, and Zion's great now. I think they should maybe turn a couple of those picks into something that can help their team right now, because Zion, he is great, but he does have a unique body type, and he's already struggled a bit with injuries. So I don't know how long he's going to be healthy. Obviously, he could go on to have a long, healthy career, but he might not. So Zion is playing at an elite level right now. I would be trying to make the playoffs, trying to surround him with talent, and trying to keep him while he's only on his rookie deal. He's not making too much. He's not going to be he's not making a max. So right now, I think the Pelicans sort of have an opportunity to make some moves this offseason. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like, subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you guys next time.